Okay, spice infused iron goes in there, and the flowers. Oh, we got flower sand there as well. Right, can we make any more steel? Yes, 62 steel being made now. So that's 62 on top of the 165 we've got. We're nearly there, man. We're nearly there. How much carbon have we got? Still got 154 carbon. If I go out and make some more iron bars, we will definitely have enough, and some left over. So yeah, let's do that now. Let's go and make some more iron. So by the time we come back, we can make the remaining steel, and that should give us everything, all the steel needed to get a buggy. And we'll go off and do the other intel areas while we're waiting for that to cook. And then we'll be able to come back and we'll cook the iron into steel. And while that's cooking, we'll go and get the erythrite crystal to get the cobalt paste. Or maybe we should get the cobalt paste first. Do you know what? We should get the cobalt paste first, because that'll take some time to... because I've got to use the chemical thing. And that'll take some time to get that back in place. Yes. Let's get this back, get it cooking. Okay, the template. How's the game now compared with last year? So where I've got to, which is I'm just into the steel tier, I would say, other than having a lot of cool new pieces to build my bases with, I'm not feeling any... The game doesn't feel any different. There's a few quality of life things, right? You've got the base reconstruction tool thing, so that you can now not lose your base. You can just take it all off and you can move it and replace it and that sort of thing. And you've got the vehicle backup system, so if you lose your vehicle, it's easier to get. I haven't needed to use any of that right now. I don't noticeably feel any improvement to performance, and that I don't have any noticeable improvement in terms of the jank. So I'm still getting janky controls in terms of my sniper scope sometimes not working, my weapon switch sometimes not working, inputs being quite delayed, and that sort of stuff. I think I'm not going to notice any of the main improvements until I get to the end game with stuff like the lands rad and things like that. But overall, in this early part of the game, feels much the same as before. Now, to be fair, I did really enjoy the Haga Basin part of the playthrough, and I am enjoying replaying that just as much. And I have come to expect the jank, so I live with the jank. I was hoping the melee combat would feel a little bit smoother, and I was hoping that engaging with Rex on the sand would be a little bit better. Those I would say are the biggest things, is the melee combat, the engaging with the Rex. Not being able to activate my sniper scope is a bit of a pain. So some of those base bugs that you'd hope are gone would be gone. But overall, the game's still really fun. It's fun to play. I'm interested to see how the end part of the game with the lands rad, the missions, the dungeons feels now. And of course the new chapter content. But I'm not there yet. Hopefully they fix most of the bugs for the September update. I hope so. I'm really looking forward to the single player client. Right, I'm really looking forward to that. Because there are some things like, I really don't want base decay. I want to build bigger bases, and I want to build more bases, and I don't want to have people building bases to block me from dew points or block roads or any of that stuff. So having a single player client for me is something I'm really looking forward to. Kind of allowing me to play the game the way I want. I also completely skipped the iron tier of gear because the game is not hard enough to at this tier to warrant having to use all the gear. So I think I will probably look to increase the difficulty of the mobs. So when you come to move to this area, you kind of like have to. You have to go for iron gear, otherwise it's going to be too hard. Whereas you can easily do everything in this area with your first set of gear. You planning on getting back into the game because of it? Same for the private servers. Totally agree, dude. Totally agree. I mean, the private server that I'm on it doesn't have any of that, pretty much. To be honest, the world is all pretty quiet for my main character. But I haven't played in a year. Literally, I played the game. I was on the private server, and I've got so many resources that I built so much fuel that I just log in like every 30 days, refuel the power, and log back out again. So that's kind of why I came back to the game, was to see how it is. But I am looking forward to the single player. I'm interested to see how single player Landsrad's going to play out. I'm interested to see what they're going to do in terms of single player with things like the carrier. Like if you're going to have a single player client and they're adjusting the Landsrad for single player, how are they going to do the Sandcrawler carrier? Because yes, you can do it solo. How many people are going to enjoy that risk? You know, how many people are going to enjoy the potential of having a performance issue when it comes to getting the Sandcrawler docked back in the carrier quickly enough to not get eaten by the sandworm? It'll scale the amount of people. Well, no, because you've got a single player client, right? There's nobody else on your client, right? It's just you. It's a single player game, right? Which is what they're doing, a completely single player experience. How do you do a single player experience with a carrier and a Sandcrawler? Don't know. I don't know, is the answer to that. Right, oh, that's testing station 13. Yeah, let's go and do that first. You've been solo crawling for 10 months, you love it? Interesting. I've not done it. I've watched a lot of people do it. The question is, right, so Dimwolfen, you love doing it, and that's cool. Have you ever had times where the game performance, and maybe you've got like an ultimate rig with ultimate internet and everything else, but have you ever had any time where the game performance or lag or anything like that could have caused you to lose a crawler and or a carrier? And how happy would you have been if you had lost said crawler and carrier? Now, I guess the mitigation for that is the ease of the vehicle backup system, where you can buy your vehicles back now if you lose them. Does that still apply to vehicles eaten by the worm? Don't know. Never lost a vehicle to a worm to try it. So, yeah, I don't know. Don't know. It just doesn't feel very single-player-y, if you know what I mean. You only lost your stuff because of bugs, i.e. getting stuck in the crawler mesh. But did you ever get your crawler or carrier eaten by the worm? And if you did, could you buy it back through the vehicle backup system? Who knows, maybe they'll introduce some gear to help you out, I don't know, or some skill that you can train that means you're an expert sand crawler driver, which means you can massively reduce the amount of threat or worm detection or something, I don't know. You've lost it about 3 times, you just recover and fly back out. So the vehicle recovery does work if it gets eaten by the worm. Interesting. Interesting. I wasn't expecting that, I have to be honest. Having not engaged with that mechanic, I don't know what I was expecting, but kind of thought anything that was eaten by the worm wouldn't be given back, even through the backup mechanic. Maybe that's how they'll manage it, through the backup mechanic or something. I think it would definitely be interesting to have the ability to get like say an expert sand crawler driver skill, which reduces worm detection or something. We'll definitely give it a go. You downloaded the Dune Companion app last week. It has a worm threat bar, which is very accurate. Interesting. And is that a third-party app, or is that something that's in that's done by Funcom? Where's the entrance? Over there. Still on the bike? Yep. Yeah. We've got all the iron that we need now, and we're working into the last bit of steel, and then I need to go and do some erythrite farming. But I haven't been rushing the materials. I've also been trying to get all the intel done, because I still need to get all the intel done, right? Third party, but Funcom allow it. That's a little telling, isn't it? You just gamble crossing the sand. It's always a gamble crossing the sand. Here we are, Imperial Testing Station number 13. In fact, I've got a quest in here. What are we doing? There we go, track. Search testing station for clues.
Someone's here. Got them!
Am I supposed to kill 15 people with this GRDA when everybody's bloody shielded?
I require assistance!
Shotguns, not my flavor. Far too,
Identify yourself. Target found.
far too close
Where's my
range.
backup?
Oh, dude, disrupted my thing. Can't say you didn't have your fair share of feeding Shai Halud during launch days. We all did, didn't we? The first time that you ever drove into quicksand, right? Because you explored before doing the mission that had the quicksand in it. You know, the Spice Dream thing.
Someone's here.
Jesus. Dude was tanking it all. Yeah, it was we all go together crossing the sand, or the person ahead will be a noble sacrifice. Or you can do the other game, isn't it, where everybody's naked and you all run out onto the sand and you keep running and the last person alive wins. There. Got too close.
Grenade out!
Hell yeah. This is the way. No. There we go. Ah, good. No more blood collection. Sweet. Man, this thing is shit. I don't like it. Doesn't do enough damage. Oh, fuck. And it's not poisoned. He killed himself. You also don't know why a few weeks ago, like, our performance just sunk. That's because you started getting lots of bases, massive bases, and because the way they designed the Haga Basin, they forced, because the aluminum's in actually quite a small area, right? So they forced everybody all into the same area. Why would you're going to build your big base where the end game resources are, right? Which is aluminum and basalt, right? So if it had been me, I would have actually made almost the entire, and everybody at the end who had a Thopter in the end game needs to access getting off the map. So you're going to build where the end game resources are, close to the edge of the map. What they should have done is, rather than just having the shield wall and eastern shield wall around Haga Basin, they should have had a wall that went almost 3/4 of the way around the map, down like at least 3 sides. Right, so you could have had aluminium all the way around the outside of the map in a wall area that was close to the edge of the map. That then meant you would spread all of these ginormous bases out around the map. That's the problem. the flying worms. Oh my god, yeah, that was a thing. That was a thing. Or the time when the worm didn't even work. Man, people were going crazy. They had to the worm was shut down for like at least 24 hours, right? If not longer. It was like go get flower sand now.
There's my backup!
But if you're gonna have lots of people on a server, and you're gonna put all of the end game resources in one place, and you're gonna have the perfect place on the map, i.e., you need to access the edge of the map to fly off it in one place. All you're gonna do is force. You've got this giant map with everybody in the same location, and having the most resource-intensive elements, which are the bases. And the ghost bases on resource areas as well, yeah, blocking the... there was nothing worse than having people like blocking roads deliberately, blocking the dew collection areas deliberately, yep. I'm with you. Yeah, I just think they could have designed the map a little bit better, where the end game area needed to be much bigger and much more spread out. Everybody? That would be a big fat no. Why would you ever want to use this weapon over everything else in the game? Shotguns in a game like this. I mean, maybe if you're going a full melee build, but you'd have things like the Bene Gesserit skills and weirding step and all that sort of stuff. I mean, this has got to be a last resort if you're in a melee build to then go into you know, a ranged weapon. Is that it? Is that everything here? Where's the clues that are in here somewhere? There we go.
Remind me not to get on your bad side, Spotter. I don't know how there's any room to walk around with all the bodies you're leaving. Just as we feared, big recruitment push. I'm sure the Hawks want their new city built sometime before never, and they need slaves in volume. If the package wasn't in that depot, we have to assume the slavers took it with them. Did a little digging. Closest slaver outpost to the crash site is an old fuel refinery and depot in the Jabal Ifrit. Our last survey of that grid shows another one of those abandoned testing stations nearby. You should have the coordinates now. Go there and do what you do best. Find my package.
Okay. Man, we're full again already. Gamble? There's no gamble in this game, dude. You know this. You know this, man. There's no gamble in Dune. But I have to say, this PoE league was the best league so far. Without a doubt. I mean, I probably will play some more PoE 2 before the full release happens at the end of the year. We should get a release date during ExileCon.
There's someone here.
Someone's here.
Found them.
Oh, man, talk about a pause in... What the fuck? That was a pause in. It's like I did my parry move, and he just like, no, I'm not going to attack you. I'm going to wait for it to run out. Dude, AI's gotten intelligent. Right. Why is it not possible to place my vehicle? Okay. Let's go here. Okay, I need to be careful. I don't have any fuel cells. I forgot to bring one with me. Less than ideal. Maybe we can get one out of this station. Alright, and I also need to fill the bike up, which means I need to put it somewhere where it's not going to get doomed. Quicksand was your bane. I can imagine why. A bit of that. Okay. Wow, I wasn't expecting to fly right into the middle of them.
Let's go.
Man, I tell you, those grenade throws are just legendary. Rude. Okay, where's... Okay. That's dealt with. Come on, give me a fuel cell. Come on. Oh, man. Rude. Oh, constellation chest. I will take that. Right, so let's go and do this, and then we'll probably have to head back because we're just going to be so full on stuff. Though, where's the bike? Bike's up here, right? Storage full. Good. Yeah, Christ. Full as a full thing. I would say what I just did back there is normally my my Bane, which is I have a habit of sugar wire claw jumping into the middle of bases and into the middle of enemies, that then gets me killed. Yep. Oh, you got that shield up bloody quick.